So, you know, if you want to fix up the neighborhood, what's that?
You have more time.
Okay, I don't really want more time because I have to go back to work. But I just wanted to throw that out there, and, you know, whoever can contact me, that's great. I'd love to discuss it with them. Because I don't want to waste my money. I have like 20, 30 windows in my shed for that house. And, okay, that's it. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Love your name again.
John Johnson?
Jones.
Jones?
Yes, my number is 216.
Don't give it out.
Don't give it out.
I'll give it to him for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Jones.
Don't give it out.
Okay, yes, I did.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. The reason I'm here, Mr. Mayor, is because on your street on Oak Hill, somebody's changing the speed limit. And I know who's doing it, but you're going to have to deal with it. Putting yellow signs on the East Cleveland lamp poles and putting the speed limit of 15 miles an hour when the speed limit is actually 25. They have changed the sign one time, now it's been changed twice down to 15. So that's illegal, so you need to tell them they can't be changing the speed limit signs like that.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Minnesota Baker, East Cleveland President. I just had a few concerns. One of those major concerns that I had was about the revisiting the Huron Road deposits. I think we need to call for an investigation. As we know that the CEO of Cleveland stepped down, there was controversy about the travel ban and things like that, but it also uncovered some other improprieties that came to light, which was the deposits to East Cleveland for $20 million. I think that we do need to revisit how that money was deposited and where it went, and we need to have an official account for how it was spent and what items it was spent on. As it relates to the dump on Noble, I think that we need to explore a public apology to those residents over there for actions taken unbeknownst to the information that was set on the table at the time, which was in deception, so to speak. We do need to offer an apology, and I'll be willing to offer my apology as a sitting council person at the time for not having all the information and yet still making a decision. But again, as I stated to you guys, I made that decision on account of salaries that needed to be paid, not the project itself. We go by the project itself. The minutes state that that was to be a facility, and it was not. So are we pursuing him for breach of contract? And if we are, I'm thankful for the EPA for the $6 million, but I also want to pursue him for criminal breach of contract. And we'll hope that we do that. And if I need to be noted as a witness for that, I will be noted as a witness. As it relates to the dumping that's going on, I did a project with the county several months ago, not several months, but several years ago. And there was a tire roundup that we did, and they went around and collected tires throughout the whole city of East Cleveland. And also wrote a refuse grant for the city to help with the recycling efforts. If we can get back to stuff like that, and Mr. Mayor, I would hope that we're exploring all options to probably restore our tax department by one person or one or two people for tax enforcement, because we do have a lot of gas stations in which these people are out here working under the table, and that's money that's slipping out the door. We're going to streamline our government. We need to evaluate everything, and I hope that I can be of assistance for that in the coming days. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll address number one. We do have an abatement law in reference to document all this stuff. Here's a list of names. There's ordinance already on the book that we already have that. Number two, I'm not cognizant of, well, I probably am, as to whom offered the piece of legislation 1217, and it got two people on it. You can't not do that. Which one is going to advertise the bid? Is the administration or the finance department? And I'm not going to say what I was told about that. But anyway, moving on. Number two, in reference to the piece that you passed for $100 per unit for apartment buildings. I've talked to big apartment buildings. They're saying they cannot get tenants when they say their property in East Cleveland. They want no parts of it. You're going to, and those of you that passed it, believe me, I will be out there campaigning that you did it. That you are not for the city.
Protest line?
You are against the city, and the landlords are suffering as a result of it. How in the thunder they going to pay $100 per unit, and if they got 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 units or what have you? You don't think. You just jump and do things because somebody say that. Think what the repercussion will be. Will follow. You think you got blight in the city, now you're going to have blight in the city. These landlords can't afford that because they can't get no tenant. Nobody want to move in the city. Just like the lady was standing here, she had told me, and I told her to come to this meeting and express her concern that had got profit out of the land bank and won't give it to them. Some of it they tore down. So I'm saying to you, and then you want to emulate somebody else. Look at the services they are getting. What are we getting in the city? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then as I said, people, the landlords are saying to me that got 20, 30, 40, 50 units, 100 units. They can't get nobody. They got vacancies now. And they're thinking about walking away and leaving it, as they did some time ago. And then you're going to sit up here and pass something. Cogitate, Maryland, before you pass something because somebody give it to you and you pass it. And then some of you want to run for council? You're driving the people out. You got to do things to attract people to come into the city, not taxing them out of it. And then the landlord got to hike the rent, and he can't get nothing now. So it just doesn't make sense. And then you're going to tell me that you went and purchased cars without the authorization of this council. You put it before the council. That's a blatant violation.
Absolutely.
Somebody could go to jail behind that. And I want to know whether the Lord, finance director, he gone. Did he write the check? And who authorized him to do it?
Gone already.
He can't authorize that. I don't care about appropriation. Appropriation, there's a certain amount that he can spend. And I articulated this before. The $25,000 or $50,000. That's all he can spend without the authorization of this council. I don't care about you appropriating. You appropriate is the money to operate, but then the certain amount you can spend in your appropriation.
Thank you.
For coming before council.
Thank you. Just to know, Mr. Holmes should be the last one to speak.
I can't speak. I want to speak.
Mr. Mays.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Council.
Behind the camera.
What's your name, sir?
Andrew J. Wright, 2070 Taylor Road. Number of properties as manager in the city of East Cleveland. Born here, raised here. Frank Wright, my father, the first black man to buy a house on Howard Avenue. And I speak for that end. What is going on? Elberon, Delmont, Wadena, Woodline. Have you guys forgotten it? Well, no. There's no presence. And as I announce my candidacy for mayor,